All right, so just kind of getting ready for the season right now. How is the team coming together?
This is the best we've looked, I think, since we've been on campus. I think we're really gelling together as a team. All the work we've put in outside of the court, just chemistry building, team bonding, stuff like that is really coming together in the court. We're moving the ball really well. We're changing sides of the floor well. Our defense looks great. And we're really shaping up to be very successful.
And then how are you just kind of getting up to speed now, being part of this squad?
It's been tough for sure. The speed of the game is unlike anything I've ever experienced. That's for sure. But small increments mean a lot, and I think I'm finally able to keep up to the pace. Defensively, offensively, we're getting into the flow with more plays and stuff like that. So it's just making sure that those tendencies, basic basketball that I've been without, not playing with last year, coming back, and everybody's been really helpful with all that. Just relaxing and playing my own game it's been good. It's been great.
How do you see your role?
I think that I've always been a shooter, right? And if I can come in and be able to knock down a couple shots, whether that's cold or hot, I think it's going to be it's my best asset this year for me is being able to knock down a shot whenever, wherever necessary, I think. And then providing a spark, defensively, whether that's just, making someone turn over the ball or whatever that looks like. I think just being an energy player first is just bringing a different type of confidence to the floor. I think will be good for me.
I hate to ask this, but how's your health?
Great. Yeah, I think I've never been in a position where the medical staff is taking such diligent care. And I've felt the best that I've felt in a very, very long time right now. The knee's, holding up great. It's doing really well. I've had all the doctors, the trainers, and she's been phenomenal. And I just feel really, really good.
Has it still kind of been I know you've been committed to this program for a while. Is it still in that process of wow, I can't believe that I'm playing for this team that I grew up around?
Yes and no. I think that, I was saying earlier, there's little things here and there that remind me that, man, this is the program that I've looked up to for so many years. One of them being the first official practice. And I think the next big thing for me is actually putting on the uniform with Ratigan on the back. But in terms of the feel, I feel like this is our team now. You know what I mean? These girls are my sisters. It's just like a family like anything else. So I think, the first game of the year will be a full circle moment for me for sure. But coming every day, just ready to work, and now it's starting to feel a little bit more normal.
How do you kind of get past the excitement to be on this team that you grew up watching, while also realizing I'm here for a reason and I deserve to be on this team?
I think it matters every day in practice, right? I get the same reps that everybody else gets, and I think that part of it is just knowing that I owe it to myself, and I owe it to the work that I put in, and I owe it to the coaching staff and the girls that have supported me through all this. My teammates are relying on me to make a defensive stop, to hit a shot. So I think that I have to take myself kind of out of the equation a little bit and be I'm here for the program. I wouldn't be here if they didn't trust me. So it's proving to myself, it's proving to them that, they made the right call, and also I'm going to do whatever it takes for this team to be successful.
Where do you think the Loyola experience helps you the most as you make this adjustment?
With Loyola, I was in many different roles. Freshman year, I went in with the same mindset as I was in high school, where I'm going to go hit some shots, right? Everybody can shoot in college, you know what I mean? So there was an adjustment I had to make at Loyola where I was okay, I have to lock in a defense now or I'm not going to play. And so that's what I did. I made that transition my freshman year, really locked in defense, and then became a starter my freshman year. And then I think each year's provided me with a different perspective. Sophomore year, we lost a lot of upperclassmen. So I was okay, you know what? This team right now, they need a leader. So I went out of my way to make sure that my team needed to be on the court, off the court, vocally, so that I became a captain sophomore year. So I think that every year I've had to adapt to different roles, and I think that at Loyola, having to be put in so many different roles will transition nicely to here, because I'm in an entirely different role here, you know what I mean? So I think the ability for me to adapt to different scenarios for what my team needs me to do will be very similar here.
You've been around this place all your life, but it's different on the inside than it is coming from the outside. What's the biggest difference?
I'll say this, I mean, for as long as I live, nobody works harder than this group of girls here. And I think that, there's a lot of media talk outside of, what Notre Dame is. And I think that the work that we're putting in is unlike anything that anybody's ready for. And I think it'll come pretty obvious in the first game that people are doing. I mean, every girl is getting an extra work. Everyone's putting in extra time in the film room. Everybody's doing the most they can to be the most successful off rip the first game of the year.
So you think people are underselling this?
I do. Yeah, I do.
There's been some girls who have kind of said the same thing, and they almost seem to relish that. Like they like that people are underestimating this team. Do you kind of fall in that same category?
100%. 100%. I don't think there's any better place to be than to shock the world a little bit. You know what I mean? Because I know that we can, and because I know that we're going to. It'd be one thing to, sit here and say, yeah, I think we're going to be successful. No. I think we're going to be beyond that this year.
You watch Hannah Hidalgo on TV a lot, but now you have the chance to play with her. What's different about that? What do you see when you're up close that you don't see on TV?
Hannah she brings the same amount of intensity every single day in everything that she does. And I think that, she is as good as she is because of the stuff that nobody sees. And I tell this story a lot to my friends and family, but I had my first, welcome Notre Dame moment in the first, it was like a pickup scrimmage game that we were having in the summer. Pick my pocket right away. Okay, so I come down the floor, pick my pocket again. And I was like, okay, I'm here. You know what I mean? But then we go in the weight room and she's, laughing, she's cheering, she's like the number one hype woman. And she is going to put in whatever work necessary to get the most out of this team. She's going to challenge you to put more on the weight. She's going to challenge you to put up more shots outside of it. She's, one of those people that she comes up, she brings everybody else up with her. And I think that her intensity stays the exact same no matter what she's doing. That's why she's as successful as she is.
And then how do you help the freshmen? Because, you've been around the block a little bit now, young lady, but now a lot of these freshmen, they're newbies. How do you help them?
Our freshman in particular is one of my best friends here, and we clicked pretty instantaneously. She's been up to South Bend a decent amount, even before she came here, and she was pretty close to my family. And then I came, and we were pretty close, and she's one of my best friends here, and I think that she's young, yeah, but I said this to my mom the other day, she is one of the best IQs of basketball that I've seen so far. And I think that given her situation this year, she's done an amazing job helping out the team however she can, and she is not afraid to go up in the middle of practice and be like, hey guys, let's try this instead. And people listen because of how high her IQ is. You know what I mean? So I think having more experience just as a college athlete, I can help with, handling stuff outside the court, course load versus practice versus social life. I think a lot of that comes into how successful you can be on the court. So I think I provide some of that guidance there. And just, me being on the court, her off the court right now, she helps me like I help her. She helps me see things I don't see in the heat of the game. And I help her see things through workouts and recovery and stuff like that she's, just getting into now.
We'll do one more, yeah.
How do you help her? In an unfortunate way, you guys have some common ground just through injury. You know what it's like to miss significant time with an injury. How have you tried to help her navigate that both physically and mentally?
I think what helped me a lot, what I've tried to help Leah with is the small victories. I think if you go at it with a mindset of, man, this is 9 months of my life that I'm going to have to overcome, it's a heavy thing to think about. So I think the small victories, we were just talking about the fact that she gets to run soon. She gets to jump. And I think really celebrating the small victories, she was jumping for the first time the other day. It was 3 inches off the ground, but it was such a big victory because she hadn't been able to do it in such a long time. So I think finding the joy in the small things makes the big picture a lot more exciting to think about.
Overall, how are you feeling? How's that kind of the adjustment been?
Yeah, I think adjustment's been pretty easy. the people here made it really easy, just being surrounded by them every day. I have fun when I come into the facility, so it's part of my day that I just look forward to every day. So yeah, it's been nothing but easy.
And then how's kind of been the culture of this team? What's it been like being with this group of players?
Oh yeah, this group of girls is special. I think the biggest thing for us is we all, just want the best for each other. And when you keep that first, you're going to have a great year. So I'm excited for us. But I think, just the amount of fun that we're having is the biggest thing for us. So if we keep just having fun, it's going to be a great year.
Aside from the hair, what do you like about it?
Oh, Kelly. Yeah, I was listening to her interview earlier, and yeah, she's one of my best friends. She made this transition even easier, as well as her family. I was able to come up here and get surgery by her dad, during high school, so that was pretty nice. So he kind of introduced us there, and then when she got here, like she said, we instantly clicked. She's been a great model for me, off the court. She's really helped me, and then I've helped her on the court as well. Just being on the sideline right now. So I think, we just work with each other so well. So yeah, she's been nothing but great.
I assume this is the first time you faced this kind of adversity in your career. Mm-hmm. How have you adapted?
Yeah, I think it's been, it's still a journey that I'm on, but every day I feel like I learned something new about, the process, but also myself. I think the biggest thing that I've taken from this is just the patience it takes. Before this, I would have never told anybody that I have any patience, and, I was a very impulsive person, but now, it's just celebrating the little things and understanding that God has a plan, and just to trust, what his plan is for me, and I think that's helped my mindset a lot.
She mentioned the small victories that you've been trying to celebrate.
Yeah.
One of those just being able to jump. And you mentioned kind of maybe coming into this thing impatient. Was it difficult at first to even celebrate the small things?
I think just looking back at the last couple months, some of the stuff that was small victories has felt like it was so long ago, but I'm trying to I have to remind myself that was just a few months ago, and look how far I've already come. But being surrounded, like I said, with these people here has made it so much easier, and I think that's been one of the biggest things for me, just because having a foundation of good people around you is going to make everything easier. So yeah, I'm extremely lucky to be here.
How do you manage, I guess, the expectations that come with being a 5-star recruit in high school, McDonald's All-American, committing to a program like Notre Dame? How do you balance those expectations? Yeah,
I think it was just about finding the place that was right for me, and I can definitely say that I did that. Going through what I'm going through right now, I think that Coach Ivy and all her staff has shown me how much they support me. Even when I am not useful on the court right now, she cares about you off the court as a person, as well as a player, and I think that means so much to me. So, keeping, those things are awesome, but I think just knowing that I'm in this place where I can grow as a person and a player for the next couple of years is huge.
Kelly talked about your basketball IQ. Where does that come from? How much of a student of the game do you consider yourself?
Yeah, I think that all just comes from hard work. I think everything that I've earned, it's never been given to me. It's been, hard work, hours in the gym, weight room, studying the game. So I think, those types of things are rewards, and they're definitely earned, I think, because of the work I put in. But yeah, I think, basketball IQ, I feel like some of it, to me just came naturally. I've played basketball for so long, and, played at many different, had many different experiences through basketball and played at, many different levels, I guess you could say, within the high school. So I feel like that kind of just came from there.
I guess playing for NEL before coming here, how big of a factor was that in saying, okay, I want to play with her some more in college?
Yeah, so I committed a little bit before the USA basketball experience, which was even cooler to actually be committed on that trip with her. So yeah, that was definitely a really cool experience. It was obviously something outside of being with Coach Ivy, but it was even better that we got to do it together. So that experience is something that I'm going to cherish forever, and definitely was, again, made me realize that I picked the right program.
What is it about her coaching style that appeals to you or maybe makes her a fit for you?
Yeah, I think just her care and her passion for winning, but also us as people. College athletics is hard. We're young. We're in a transition of life that we're changing. When you come in as a freshman, you're going to be different than when you leave as a senior, and going through that with Coach Ivy, I think is huge, just because she knows that, she experienced it here, as a player, and now a coach. So, you know, she gets it, you know, what we go through every day. So to have somebody relate to us also, you know, means a lot.
How big has it been to have, I know Kelly talked a little bit about how she's tried to help you through injury.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are close as it is. What's maybe been the biggest piece of advice on the mental side in terms of getting through this process?
Yeah, I would say just earlier, like I said, just trusting, just realizing that like good things take time. So this isn't going to be something that like I wake up tomorrow and, you know, everything's going to be, you know, back to normal. So, you know, you're going to have days that are, you know, not the best, but the people here, like, you know, when I have great days, they're all there to support me, you know, even on bad days too. So I think, like I said, I've said this a lot, but just like surrounding yourself with people that want the best, I think has made this experience so much different for me.